This is Cam Redden on 2SSR.
After all we've had to enjoy over the last 9 years, it's not 9 years, is it? It's 9 months. 9 months of this presidential campaign between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Gee, it feels like 9 years, doesn't it? I think we've just about had enough by now. We've had enough of the grandstanding. We've had enough of the headline grabbing, had enough of the quotes and the misconceptions and everything around it, the mudslinging that's gone on. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have been fighting it out over what seems like a never-ending period. But finally now, the end is in sight. It's pretty easy to forget that at the end of this never-ending campaign, there actually is a golden carrot lying at the end of the race. One of them will be declared the president and the winner, I suppose, when voters go to the polls just over 2 weeks from now on November the 8th. You do have to wonder, though, if either of them is really going to be the winner out of all of this. Because when you think about it, who the hell would want the job? The country itself is in a debt hole up around now almost $20 trillion. That's with a TR in front. It makes millions and billions that we hear about every day in Australian news and Australian media sound like child's play. I'm watching the clock, as a matter of fact, tick over right now, and it's going only in one direction. This is the US debt clock online, and of course, if your nation's got a debt clock that is ticking up by the thousands every second, then you might just be in a bit of a problem. We've seen the instances of social unrest across some of the US states as well, a number of them. It is an absolute mess over there. So whoever is going to end up in the top job has got one hell of a task ahead of them. Well, if the first two presidential debates weren't entertaining enough for you, the third and the final one was held a little earlier today. If you didn't catch it, you didn't really miss anything. I'm not going to replay any highlights for you because, to be perfectly honest, there weren't too many. I think both of the candidates actually threw all their best punches in the first couple, so this one, honestly, was pretty dull, even by the standards that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have set for themselves over the last few months. You know, one thing about this really does amaze me, about this whole debate, and it really is the sense of scale of it all. I understand it is the theatre of dreams, the United States, in many ways. But get this. Do you know where they held today's debate? Not just the state or the actual location of it. It wasn't just some knockabout community hall or some function room down in Texas. No. Not at all. They held this debate in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, Nevada. Sin City. The two squared off at the University of Nevada in Las Vegas. So to be fair, it's not like they were duking it out, throwing barbs at each other over a roulette wheel and a couple of drinks. But in all reality, it's not all that far off. Just a couple of kilometres either way and you're sitting right in the front row of a casino. Normally, you look at Australia. We do it in somewhere like the National Press Club, you know, somewhere pretty upmarket, little highbrow with a bit of class. But jump back just a couple of years ago to the 2013 election. Do you know where Tony Abbott and then Prime Minister Kevin Rudd had their leaders' debates? Have a guess. What do you think? Are we talking maybe Crown Casino? Maybe at the Star? Something pretty nice, right? Get a load of this. This is how we do things in Australia. I tell you what, it wasn't in the Ritz Hotel or Las Vegas. This is where we held ours.
I'm David Spears. It's great to be back at the Rooty Hill RSL Club in Sydney's West, where we held our first Sky News Daily Telegraph People's Forum 3 years ago.
Oh, yes, the Rooty Hill RSL gets a good run in Australian politics. Don't worry about Las Vegas or the Ritz or Paris or wherever you're going to hold it. Just chuck it up at the Rooty Hill RSL. Welcome to Australia. David Spears, one of the nation's great journalists, introducing the two combatants back in 2013. But that's how we do it in Australia. We just put our nation's leaders in the RSL. Don't worry about the glitz and the glamour. Forget the red carpet. Forget the auditorium full of people. Just wheel the pokies off to one side, stick a few plastic chairs down, and you're off. We were complaining that this year's federal election as well was held during the football season. A little bit out of season, a bit of an awkward time to have it, to be honest. But we were complaining we'd have to compete with a footy. We're meant to take in what's going on with the world as well as worry about who we're playing this week. Well, what did we do about the debate?
Wednesday, live from Brisbane.
In Brisbane? Okay, fair enough. But what they didn't mention was it was live from the Brisbane Broncos Leagues Club at Red Hill. From the Leagues Club. This is not a strip mall. This is not full of lights and flashing paparazzi and tuxedos and nice-looking ties. It was at the Leagues Club. I'm not really sure what this says about our own attitude to the highest officials in the land, or I don't really know who's right. Is America right to put them in a stage in an auditorium, which fair income, looks some of the places they've held these debates like it is the centre of a coliseum. The rows of people, I can't imagine. I wonder if they actually have to pay for seats there. We're going to have to look that up. I wonder if you actually do have to pay to attend these events. Obviously, there's a large contingent of press that go to these major debates over in America, as is the case with a lot of the rallies, the campaign rallies and speeches along the way. But I do have to wonder, if you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people there, gee, it's not a bad way to raise a couple of bucks. But that's how we do it in Australia. A couple of plastic chairs, a couple of people, extra people on the bar tab every night, and you're sweet. I can't quite get away from the thought that somewhere down the back of the leaders' debate in Australia, there's some bloke with tattoos all up his arm, a packet of smokes in his top pocket, saying, hell are these mugs? I just came here for the trivia night. Absolutely brilliant stuff. There's only one way to do it in Australia, and I'd like to think we've got it on the Yanks again.
From the beach to the bridge and right across the Shire, this is Cam Redden on 2SR.